I believe that the urban fabric shown in cities such as Freiburg could work well in Seattle. Seeing that Seattle is already taking steps in the right direction towards a more sustainable urban environment, I believe that the city would do really well with these approaches. I think some of the main obstacles the city would run into would be the cost of all the changes, people not wanting to pass new bills, and private property owners being kind of stubborn. While it is great to think about having more electric vehicles and bike paths and more sustainable buildings, it's important to take into consideration the cost of all of this change. In order to have newer and more sustainable buildings, old ones need to be taken down, and the cost of taking them down as well as putting new ones up would be a lot. Converting a major city to electric vehicles could also be costly, not only to the city, but to individuals as well. Some people who drive cars that are extremely harmful to the environment can't afford new ones, and that's why they drive the old ones that aren't good for it. So there need to be a way to make electric cars affordable for everyone. In addition to costly efforts, another obstacle that Seattle would run into when trying to implement new approaches to sustainability could be citizens not wanting to pass new bills and private property owners not willing to change the way they do things. Some people do not like change or just don't care enough to vote on new matters, and if there aren't enough people to vote and pass new laws, then change in the urban fabric of Seattle can't happen. Seattle would have to come up with ways to work with those who don't want change and try to convince them that change would be beneficial or it wouldn't happen. I think that I could live in a city like Freiburg or Singapore, but it would take a lot of getting used to. I think that the things I would have the hardest time adjusting to would be limited driving, like taking a lot of public transportation, riding my bike a lot, walking, and being in a city environment. I've never lived in a city-like environment, so being around that many buildings and people would be a big change for me. Living in a place like this would not be ideal for me, but I could adjust and eventually learn to enjoy it.